everybody, and welcome to Storm Reads. And today I'm just going to do kind of like a little mid-month wrap-up to let everybody know how I'm doing with the Believe-a-thon, since most of the books that I'm reading this month are for that. I mean, I'm working on a few other books, but for the most part, they're the Believe-a-thon books, and so that's just what I'm going to talk about today. And so with the Believe-a-thon, you have to collect certain things. So you have to read something so you can collect something, and you're trying to figure out the mystery of what happened to the Maleficarum, I think, if I remember right. It's been a little bit. And this was created by Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin. And so the first one you had to read is to read a mystery so that you can collect the key to get into the house or mansion or whatever it was, so that you can look for all the other clues. And you will notice if you watched my TBR that I have changed things up a little bit, because I'm a mood reader and that's just kind of how it goes. And if I'm not feeling a book, I get something else and put in its spot, things like that, or just other books I just wanted to read, or however it goes. Anyway, and so I had to read a mystery to get the key, and the ones that I picked out for that, I just really wasn't feeling it, and I started listening to The Stitchers by, I think your name is Lauren, or Lorraine, Lawrence. Anyway, I'll put a picture here because I did listen to the audiobook, and this one was it was supposed to be my pick for read a book that was published in 2020 to collect The Shadow, and it ended up being a mystery anyway, because it's about Quinn and her friend Matt, who are curious about the oldies, that's what they dubbed them, that live on Goody Lane, and there's something strange about them. They don't seem to age, or they're old, but they don't seem to die. Maybe that's it. And they just seem to always be there, and it seems like nobody else in the town seems to think that is strange. And so Quinn, she's got these theories about maybe they're, vampires or aliens or some kind of supernatural something, and she's really curious about it, and she wants to go and figure out who they are, really, because sometimes it seems like even though they're old, they can like outrun the young kids. So, I mean, there's something really particularly different with these people. And so it is kind of a mystery. So I decided to use this one for the mystery so I could collect my key. And then I also doubled up with it and collected the shadow with it too. And so then I listened to the audiobook that I was supposed to listen to for the prompt about an audiobook so that I could collect the Scream. And that was The Explorer by Catherine Rundle, and I'll put a picture here. And that was a pretty decent book about some kids having to survive in the Amazon after their plane crashed, and they end up finding a map, and they kind of follow it to where they find like this kind of a ruined city where this older man lives, and he doesn't want to tell him his name. He just says to call him, the Explorer. That's what, so that's what they dub him, the Explorer. And so he kind of helps them navigate and everything. He's kind of a grumpy old man and everything. So it was pretty interesting. I mean, it wasn't like wowing, I guess, but it was still pretty interesting, and I enjoyed it. And so that's for the Scream. And then I was supposed to read another book for this next prompt, and I was supposed to read Spirit Hunter number 2, The Island of Monsters by Ellen O. And I still want to read that one, and I probably will get to it, but I went ahead and decided, since I read another book that I had gotten from Overdrive, and so I wanted to get it, since I actually requested that they get this one from Overdrive, I figured since they got it, and I was like number 1, that I should at least, read it. So I did, and that one is, I'll put it here, it's The Incredibly Dead Pets of Rex Dexter, and I can't remember the guy's name, by Aaron Reynolds. and you'll see it here. Anyway, this one was just really cute, and a friend of mine, she told me that she thought I would like it because she really liked it. And it's about Rex, who he really wants a pet. He really wants a dog, and he really wants a chocolate lab. That is, and he hints about this all the time, but because he had a unforeseeable mishap with a goldfish, and then his parents doesn't think he's ready for a dog, but he really wants one. So it's his birthday. He's been making all these hints about all these, with all these pictures of dogs and stuff. So he thinks that his parents are going to get him a dog for his birthday, and he ends up with a chicken. Yeah, he ends up with a pet chicken, and they said this was kind of like a practice pet, and if he could take care of the chicken, then they might get him a dog. I mean, what kid wants a chicken? Well, he didn't know anything about chicken, so he needed to go get pet supplies for his chicken. So he's walking his chicken on a leash, and he goes to get pet supplies, where he sees this Grim Reaper type video game thing, and it was kind of a make a wish and then try your hand, and if you win, then you get your wish, but if not, then you get the Reaper's curse, and he loses, and so he gets a curse. And it's like, okay, whatever. He doesn't really think much about it, but then he ends up with his something happened to his chicken, and so that's his first dead pet. And it's like really up there, really close. It's not really too much of a spoiler, but then it's just he starts seeing all these other dead pet or animals, and they're from a local zoo, and so he has to kind of help them and figure out what happened to them. Why are they dying? Some of them, they said they thought they were murdered. And so he has to try to figure out. So it's kind of a mystery too, a little bit. And it had some cute illustrations in it. And it was just really cute. I liked it. I mean, he's got all these dead animals following him around. And Rex himself was a little annoying. But overall, I thought it was like really good, and I liked it. And that one was for the supernatural elements, so I got the torn page with that one. And then the next one I've read is Scritch Scratch by Lindsay Curry, and this one was for the ghost, and you got to collect the spilled ink with that one. And this one was about Claire, who doesn't believe in ghosts. She's pretty scientifically minded. If it doesn't fit within like the scientific method, then she doesn't really believe in it. And her father is so embarrassing because he wrote a book about some ghosts, and it got kind of popular, and so he decided to quit his other job and to go full-time into ghost tours and stuff like that, because they live in Chicago. And so he bought like a little bus, and he's got it all decked out with his tour stuff. And so he takes people, and he goes and he explains to them at different spots on the tour what happened in the ghost and things like that. And one day he needed help because his other help called in sick, and so they talk Claire into going. She doesn't really want to do it, but she goes, and she ends up seeing a ghost. And the ghost seems to follow her home, and it's not a very friendly ghost. It's a pretty spooky ghost. It keeps doing weird things to her and frightening her, and she's just I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts. But, when the evidence is there, and even her brother said, well, let's use your scientific method. I don't know why I can't say that. To figure out, what's going on, and if this is really a ghost, and what the ghost wants. And she ends up getting the help from some friends, and they kind of figure out, what's going on. And it was really interesting. It had some really interesting facts and things like that about Chicago, and some of the horrific things that happened there, like the Chicago fire and things. And then I didn't realize it until after the book, but actually what happened from where this boy what had happened, it was an actual thing that had happened and stuff. So that made it even a little bit more interesting, because you're learning a little bit about Chicago history and everything. And she's also learned a lot about friendship and how you can have new friends with your old friends and stuff like that. And so it was really good. I really liked it. And that one, like I said, got the spilled ink. And then the next one that I read is from a new author, and that was to get the backpack. You had to read a book from a new author, and I'll put a picture here. I read Courtney Crumman and the Night Things by Ted Nath, I think might be how you spell it. I'll put it here. It's a graphic novel, and it was about Courtney, who she's moving, her family is moving into like their great uncle's house, and he's like really, really strange, and they think her parents think that he's kind of old and can't do a whole lot, but he's really not. He's just really strange. And Courtney has some run-ins with him sometimes, and finds out, that he's not quite as old and crotchety as they think he is and stuff. He's actually pretty interesting. She also finds out that there are some strange things out in the world, and she goes and she has to go into the Night Things, which is kind of like where goblins and things are. And I read it, and then I read another book that's kind of similar tone, and so I'm trying not to get them mixed up in my head. But yeah, it's got to do with like witches and stuff like that, and she ends up getting herself into some trouble, and her uncle or whatever it is has to kind of get her out of the trouble. But yeah, it was fun. I liked it. It was pretty decent, everything. And then that was for the backpack, and then so that's everything I've read so far. I'm working on this one, Frostheart, The Voyage of Frostheart by Jamie Littler, and this one is for the dangerous setting, and I am almost done. Got just a little bit to go. I'll admit, I really, really wanted to like this a lot, but I'm not liking it quite as much as everybody else seems to like it. It's okay, but I'm having a hard time getting through it, and it shouldn't take that long because it's got like a ton of like pictures and stuff in it. It's about Ash, who he likes got like a lot of cool pictures and stuff, but it's about Ash, who goes on this adventure on the Frostheart, and he's kind of trying to figure out who he is. He's a song weaver, and people don't like him. They think he's bad because of something that a song weaver done in the past, but he doesn't want to be like that. He just wants to be himself. And yeah, I've already figured out a long time ago who I'm pretty sure the bad guy is, and so I thought that was fairly easy. But I know it's a middle grade, but I think should be even easy for a middle grade to figure out. But yeah, but it's okay. And then I have these 4 left, and then I'll have all of my books for that read. I can't speak today, so I should have all those read and everything. And so I think I'm doing fairly well. I've done, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 out of the 13 challenges done so far, and one of these books is going to be for 2 of them. This one is going to be for the fingerprint and the beautiful cover. So read 1, I'll have 2 done, so not too bad. And yeah, so that's pretty much where I am right now on my reading for the Believe-a-thon. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.